My name is Leo. I am with the marketing department here for Colorado Banker Services. Want to welcome everybody today. We are going to be doing a little bit of training today, kind of to show everybody what our application process is for the critical illness plan from A to Z. We call this the virtual insurance application. And for agents that are new to Colorado Banker Services, this will be a nice A to Z training. We're going to do a whole sample application right here with the slides that you'll see on the screen from beginning to finish. And for agents that have already written with us in the past, this should serve as a real helpful recap. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. So from the time that we receive contracting information from you, we're going to get those processed. That takes about 7 to 10 business days to get an agent appointed. Once the agent's appointed, we actually send them an email with instructions for them to register for their own individual links. Each agent gets 2 different links that they'll use to quote and submit business online for a critical illness plan. Right here at the bottom of the screen, we can see an example of what these 2 links look like. It'll say something to the effect of www. Whatever your agent username is, .virtualinsurance.net. And if you notice, there's 2 of them that look the same. Only difference is the second one has /admin. What this means, real quick, and we'll get into this a lot more as we move along, but what this means is the agent basically has a step 1 link where you go to quote and submit the initial part of the application, and your step 2 link, which is the admin link, is where we use to finish up the application and send it up to uploading so it can be processed. Okay? So here on this slide, we see an example of what the email email is going to look like. This is the email that the agent receives once they've registered for their links. So again, the step 1 link is to quote and enroll the client. The step 2 link that has the /admin is for signatures and to get it uploaded for the underwriters. Okay, once an agent gets these registered and once they get this sample auto email, they're ready to start writing business online. So now we want to show you guys how to go through the whole application from beginning to end. That way we can get these processes as quick as possible. The biggest thing we want to do is just try to make sure that your guys' business gets processed real quick. It takes about 3 to 5 business days for every new application on average, unless, of course, the underwriters need to collect a little bit more information. So from the get-go, if we can give them that information, just going to make the process a whole lot easier for you guys. So here is an example of the quote site landing page that an agent will see whenever they click on their virtualinsurance.net link. It's just an example right here. Once you click to the quote button, you get into the actual quoting page. So once you're getting started, you just want to enter the information, make sure you're real accurate, make sure you pick the right state. The tobacco question on there applies to both the husband and spouse. So if you are quoting with more than one primary insured, just make sure that we get an accurate answer on the tobacco question right there. And in the little picture right here below, just kind of shows you a sample of what this screen would look like if we click the drop-down box right there if we want to add any spouse or children on the quote. Okay, so pretty simple just to get the quote started right here. Once we click the quote button, this page is actually going to expand, and this is where we call the select a plan page. So basically you're on the same page right here, and this is just kind of showing you a couple different face amounts that the agent and the client gets to choose from. We have even face amounts or money purchase. All this means, if you notice right there at all the numbers on the screen, is if you choose a face amount quote, you're going to go by a dollar amount that matches up according to whatever desired face amount that you want on the policy. And sometimes we work with clients who say want to spend a certain dollar figure. So it might be a better idea for that person to look at the money purchase, because if you notice on the money purchase quotes, there's even dollar amounts right there for the face amount, or on the face amount, you get even face amount for whatever the premium calculates out to. So just kind of giving you guys some options right there. And once you select one, just click the select button, and that'll take you to the next page, which is the proposed summary of benefits page. Now, this page right here just kind of goes over all the benefits on the plan. This is a really good recap page. That way you can do a quick review with a client, make sure that they understand all the benefits that they're signing up for. And if you happen to be adding a spouse or any children, any family on this application, then it's going to show you a little proposed summary of benefits for the family option. And right there you can see what, in case anybody is curious, any state that has the critical condition family rider approved in that state and you're wanting to add family on the application, this right here, this little picture right here shows you what benefit the family is actually going to get. The spouse is always going to get $10,000 regardless of what the face amount is for the primary insured, and dependent children get capped off at $5,000. So real important right here, guys, if you are working with a couple that maybe they want to have the same face amount, always a better idea to just write each person on individual applications rather than doing it combined, because combined it's going to cap off the spouse at $10,000. So just kind of heads up. But if $10,000 is what they're looking for, then this is a good way to go. This is a good option for them right here. Okay. So once you guys kind of do a little quick summary, a little quick recap for the client, you can go ahead and click the Apply Now button right there at the bottom, and that'll take you to the actual application. This is what we call starting the application. This is the proposed insured page right here. Real basic information. You're just going to fill out all their info, first, last name. Make sure that we don't use any nicknames. We want to make sure to use legal names. Fill out every question right there, like the address. Make sure that we have a complete address, folks. Real simple, but just throwing that out there. Just because, obviously when the policy gets approved, our Dearborn National is going to have a full address so they can send the welcome packet out to the client. So just make sure we have a full address right here. Accuracy now is going to make your applications process a whole lot faster, folks. Okay, and Social Security is required to apply, but if you're working with somebody who's a non-U.S. citizen, we just got informed that we can now accept non-U.S. citizens for coverage, and you can actually do them online, but just so that you're aware, there are additional forms required whenever you're writing up a non-U.S. citizen on an online application. So if you ever run into somebody who's not a U.S. citizen, make sure to call us so we can get those additional forms to you so that the business doesn't get held up. That way we can get it all processed a lot quicker. Our number here is 888-455-7462, guys. If you guys want to make a note, we're here to help. Just let us know how. So let's keep moving here, folks. So this is the same page right here, the proposed insured page. This is just right here at the bottom of the page. Just want to point out a couple things right here. On this page right here, if there's going to be a question if they're a U.S. citizen. So like I said, if they're a U.S. citizen, you're going to mark yes. If they're not, you're going to mark no, and then you're going to want to call us so we can get the other forms out to you. But there's another question right here that asks for state of birth. Okay? So if they're born in the United States, we need to know what state that they were born in. If they were born outside of the United States, we need to know what country they were born in, not what continent. So like any country name in Europe, like Germany, France, Spain, any of those is an acceptable answer, but Europe itself would not be an acceptable answer. Just an example right there for you guys. And on the beneficiary question, keep in mind, guys, the critical illness plan is built on the life insurance chassis, so it gives somebody that life insurance protection. And if somebody ever needed to make a claim for the death benefit, we need to know who the beneficiary is. Okay, so we want to get a full name, give us the relationship, and if for any reason they don't have a beneficiary, then the way that the system wants it, it wants you to input basically a first and a last name. So you can just write in estate. Okay, most people are going to have a beneficiary, so you can just indicate it right there. But for those that don't, you just mark down estate. You don't want to put the client's name in there, because that's not an acceptable answer. Obviously, if the client passes away, we can't pay them the death benefit, but we can definitely pay it to the estate. So just want to be real clear on that. Okay, so pretty simple stuff right here on the proposed insured page. The next page that we'll go to is the plan information page. Now, this right here, just kind of the biggest thing I want to point out right here, folks, is the critical condition family rider box. If you quote it with a family at the beginning of the application, right there in the quote page, when you click on your virtualinsurance.net links, the ones that don't have the /admin, it takes you to the quote page. You fill out all the family information, and if you quote it as a family, then you're definitely going to want to make sure that on this page here, on the plan information page, that we check this little box right here that's circled on the screen, the critical condition family rider box. What that does is it pops open all the boxes below for you to give us all the spouse, all the child, all the family information, basically. If this box does not get selected, then you're going to go through the entire application, and we're going to come back a couple of days later once we're processing, and we're going to say, hey, this looks like it should have a family, but we don't have any of the family's information. What happens then is we have to make an amendment, because obviously we're adding something to the application after it was signed. So it's going to issue what's called an amendment, which is basically a one-page form we need to get a signature from the client, an ink signature, verifying that they understand the changes that we made to this. This delays your guys' application, so if we can just make sure to take the extra couple seconds and be super detailed on these apps, it's just going to make the process that much quicker, and you won't have to worry about any amendments or any kind of pending cases. Your business is going to process real quick in 3 to 5 business days, folks. Okay? So real important to check that critical condition family rider box if you're adding spouse or children, any family to the application for proposed insured. Okay, if you're just adding a beneficiary, you don't need to worry about clicking this box. This only applies if they're seeking coverage too under the family rider. Okay, and just make sure to complete all sections if you are adding the family. Okay, so next page right here that we'll get to, folks, on the application is we'll get to the health information page. This is where you find all the medical questions, and if they answer yes to any medical question, these are the things that we'll need. We're going to need to know who was diagnosed, what condition they were diagnosed, diagnosis dates, try to get us the month and year if you can, and the doctor's contact information. Just going to make it a lot easier for us. And now the question, and I do want to mention, the reason we ask who was diagnosed, just in case you're adding more than one person as the proposed insured. So just make sure you're real clear. Anytime you click yes, you're going to notice a little box pops up where you can add all that information there for us. Okay? Questions 1 through 8 apply to all persons on the application. And then also there's a question regarding smoker or non-smoker. However you answer this, you just want to be real careful and make sure that this matches up to whatever you entered at the initial quote page before you started the application, okay? Because a lot of times we'll see a discrepancy. Somebody rated, put the rates in as a smoker, but when we get to the medical questions, they accidentally check that they weren't a smoker or that they didn't use any tobacco. So just pointing it out there, guys, just so you guys can be real careful and make sure that you're giving us complete and accurate information so we can get these processed quicker for you. Family history question. There's a question here that applies for any if anybody was diagnosed for any of the conditions mentioned in the question before age 60. This question only applies to immediate family members like mother, father, or siblings. Okay, if it happened to a third cousin or an uncle or something like that, doesn't matter, does not apply. Okay, only to immediate family, just so that you guys are aware of that question, so we can make sure it's answered accurately. Okay, so next page that we would get to in this application is the method of payment page. Okay, at this point you already filled out the basic information, you answered the medical questions, that takes us to this method of payment page. Right here is where the client gets to choose if they want to pay with a bank draft or if they want to pay with a credit card. So if they pay with a credit card, just so that you're aware, that credit card is going to get charged immediately. But if they pay with a bank draft, it's going to give the client a choice of what date they want the first draft to come out. And you can post date this up to 30 days out, but no more than 30 days. So if somebody wanted to, if it's the 1st of June, for example, and somebody wants it July 1st, you can post date it up to July 1st, but if you tell us you don't want this to draft until November, we're going to say hang tight before you submit the application. Wait till we get closer to November within 30 days. Okay, and as far as the bank draft dates, just make sure that you pick a date between the 1st and the 28th of the month, just because not every month goes over 28 days. Pretty simple, but just throwing it out there just to make sure. And when the bank draft is selected, there's a question on payer. It asks, is the proposed insured the premium payer? Just want to make sure you answer that honestly, yes or no. Sometimes we have somebody else that's paying for that proposed insured, like a mother or father or something paying for the kids' policy, whatever the situation is. Just so that you're aware, if somebody else is paying the premium for the proposed insured, we're going to need to get an extra signature from the payer. Then this only applies with a bank draft. You don't have to get an extra signature with credit cards. But if somebody's saying with a bank draft and it's somebody else's bank account rather than the proposed insured, we're just going to need a signature from them verifying that they understand what they're being drafted for. Okay? And if for any reason you're unable to complete the credit card transaction at this time, there is a little button at the bottom that says click here to bypass payment for now. But just so that you're aware, all these applications have to be finished in the /admin back office. This is the virtualinsurance.net with the /admin link. The ones that at the beginning of the presentation I mentioned that each agent gets 2 unique links. These are the ones that I'm talking about right here. Okay, we'll get into that a little bit more here in just a couple of minutes, folks. So the next page that we would see on the application as we go through the online enrollment system is you're going to get to the disclosure forms, which is basically just doing a quick recap of all the benefits. Just basically the system's going to prompt the client to read and accept at the bottom of the document before we proceed. Okay, and then there's also at the bottom of this page it asks for city and state. Just make sure that it corresponds to the client's residency and state that you picked on the quote page. Okay, so if your client's hanging out in Alabama or in Arizona, just want to make sure that this little section right there matches up to the same. Okay, pretty simple stuff. So the next page that we would get to is we would get to the client signature page. Okay, so want to be real specific right here, guys. If your client is present, whether in person or via screen share, if you're selling this on the phone over the computer and you're doing screen sharing, you have one of the screen sharing programs that lets you hand over the controls, then you can actually hand over the controls at this point and let the client sign. They would just click a Sign Now button, and it gives them all the prompts for them to apply their electronic signature right then and there on the screen. Okay. If for any reason the client's not present or they can't sign, then you'll pick I do not wish to sign at this time, and then you will complete it at your virtualinsurance.net /admin site. If you notice, both of my examples right there that we have on the screen have the example right there of the virtualinsurance.net with the /admin. Real important that you guys are aware that applications cannot be completed unless they've been completed and uploaded through the back office, which is the /admin link. So like I said, agents get 2 links, the step 1 and the step 2 link. Okay? And we'll go into that here in just a second. So this screen right here kind of shows you what the client sees. Basically all the information that you've typed in up until this point. When the client goes to sign right there, when you're present with the client or whether you're doing a screen sharing, this is what the client's going to see whenever they're signing. They basically just have to just click sign, once for each page. And that's how they apply their signature. It's a real easy process. The agent does something similar to this, and we'll show you guys here a little bit more. That's just so you guys are aware of what the client's going to be seeing. Okay, so once the client applies their signature, this is the last page that you're going to see in your step 1 link, which is the agent username.virtualinsurance.net /admin. And I say agent username not because it applies to everybody, but because that's where your unique username would be. So every person that's appointed with us is going to have a virtualinsurance.net link with their name right there, or any username that they would have selected. Okay, so at this point of the application, you already did the initial part of it. You already completed the step 1 portion, which is to quote and submit the initial application right here. So now right there at the bottom you see it says agent only. Click here to access your administrative back office. And that's where you have to go to obtain all the signatures, make sure we collect everything, and then the final step is to upload it so that it can complete the process. Okay. So let's get a little bit more into that now, folks. So now that we finished up with the step 1, we already completed our application. And say we had to take lunch, and now we're coming back from lunch, and we're going to finish up the application and get it uploaded. So the first thing you do is you type in your unique virtualinsurance.net link with the /admin. That's going to take you to a login page that looks like the little picture that you see on the left-hand side. You go ahead and just input your username and password that you selected, and when you get in there, it's going to say, welcome to your back office. What you want to look for is the button that says List Policies. Look for that and click on List Policies. Okay? So now from the back office, you're in your virtualinsurance.net/admin site. You're in the back office. That's where the site takes you. The admin site takes you to the admin back office, and now you click on List Policies page. And right here, you're going to see you're going to see your client's name right there. And then since they applied their signature, you're going to see a letter C right next to their name in the status bar that shows that the signature has been complete for the client. But it's still missing a couple of things. So let me show you how we get these completed. And just so that you folks are aware, right up above it says search for policies. If you ever need to go back a couple months or you want to review an application just to make sure everything got completed, you can play around with those date ranges, and that'll do just that for you. Okay. So now that you clicked on their name right there from the List Policies page, you get into what we call the back office client page. We call it the client page because we're in the back office, and this kind of shows you all the client information right there. You can see what their face amount is, their mode of payment, and how much their premium is right there. And then you're going to see a big green sentence that says, "This application is incomplete. You must complete the application before it can be submitted." So whatever this green sentence tells you, folks, when you go into the back office, you click on List Policies, you click on the client's name, you get to the client page right here, and then you see the green sentence. Click that blue link right there that's in the green sentence to complete and do whatever the link is asking you to do. It's probably it'll take you back into the application. When you click on it, it takes you back to the application so you can do a quick recap. You click next a couple times, and then it's going to stop you at this page right here. This page is a page that you didn't see the first time that you did the application, and this is called the agent report page. Basically, it's just asking if you were there in person with the client when you made the sale, whether or not you were in person. Okay, so just so you're aware, because we do get this question a lot, guys, however you answer these questions here is not going to affect how this application is underwritten. This is just for home office use only, just so they can collect this information. So whether or not you were there in person with the client, it doesn't make a difference. We just need to collect this information right here on the agent report page. Okay. So once you're done, you're just going to once you answer all these questions right here, you're just going to keep clicking next, keep clicking next, or you can skip the rest of the forms, and it's going to take you right back to the back office. Okay, so from the back office, you're going to go to List Policies again. You're going to click on your client's name so you can get to the client page, and then you're going to see that green sentence. Now the green sentence is telling you to do something else. So whatever that green sentence says, like I said, folks, you just want to do whatever the green sentence says and repeat this process until we're all done. Okay, so at this point it's asking for the agent's signature. So the green sentence is going to say, okay, we got the client's signature, now we need the agent's signature. So you click on that, go through the same process you did with the client, except you as the agent, you're just putting in your signature, all electronic, real easy. And then after that, you go back to List Policies again. It'll take you back to the back office when you're done. You click on List Policies, you look for their name, you click on their name, and then that green sentence is going to go away once you did everything it would ask for. It goes away, and it turns into a Upload to CBL button. This is the final step required before you complete a virtual application for a critical illness plan. So click that button, and we're going to upload to success right here, guys. So once you upload it, the app is finished. It's 100% done. That green sentence will let you know you uploaded this application at this time and this date, and then at that point you are done. You are ready to go make some other calls and go help some other people. But now I just want to do a quick little recap, guys. So at this point you would have finished with an application, but what I want to do a quick recap, and we're going to go back a couple of slides. Basically what I want to show you now is how we complete the signature if the client was not there in person. Okay, so for whatever reason you weren't doing a screen share, or the client was not a face-to-face sale, so then you have to go through an alternative process to collect the signatures, which is all done through your virtualinsurance.net/admin back office. Okay. So again, we go into your virtualinsurance.net admin back office. We log in. We're going to click on List Policies on the left-hand side. Notice there's a pattern right here, guys. Pretty simple. We did this on purpose just to make it real easy. So when you're in the back office, you're on the list policies page. You're going to click on your client's name. There's nothing in the status bar because we haven't collected any signatures yet. So you click on your client's name, and then you're going to see that green sentence. There's that green sentence again. So the green sentence is saying that you need the client's signature before you can upload the application. So you're going to click that button right there, and it's going to send them an email that's going to help them input their signature on the application. Okay? It's going to help them apply that signature. So here in this next slide, we see what that sample email looks like. This is what the client's going to see when they receive it. It just says, your agent's prepared an insurance application for you at your request. Please follow the link below to sign the application. So then you get on the phone with them and you tell them, hey, Mr. or Miss Client, this is your agent Leo again. We just finished that application. Just need you to do a quick online signature. There's an email right there. Just open it up and click on the blue link. And then when they click on it, they're going to go ahead and apply their signature. After the client signs, the agent's going to get an email sent to them to notify them that they need to go in the back office and finish this application here. Okay? So once the client's signature has been obtained, an agent goes through the same process. They go list policies, they click on the client's name, get to the client page, they follow what the green sentence says. Looks like now it's wanting to get a signature from the agent. So then the agent signs it. It says signature complete. And then now you go to list policies one more time. Click on their name one more time. And here we go. Upload to success. We're going to go to list policies. We're going to click on their name. And then that green sentence goes away and turns into an upload to CBL button. This is the last step right here required to complete the application. So you click that button and you upload to success. Now the policy shows that it has been uploaded. Okay? So last thing I just want to point out, we're almost done here, folks. Just want to point out a couple other things in case anybody is curious what those little green letters mean right there in the status bar. Basically, here's the legend right here. C means the client signed, A means the agent signed, and U means that it was uploaded. So if you're ever doing any check work in the back office, you notice that one of your clients you just signed up recently does not have the letter U or is missing any of the C or the A, that lets you know this is an incomplete application and nothing's being processed yet until it is uploaded. Okay? So then you'll just click on their name, look for that green sentence, do what it wants you to do, and then repeat the process. List policies, client's name, client page, green sentence, until that green sentence goes away and turns into the upload button. Pretty simple stuff right here, folks. And then the other things that you'll notice there, if you had somebody else, if you had a payer on the application where somebody else is paying for the proposed insured, then you're also going to get a signature from them just like you did for the client here in the back office where the green sentence tells you what to do. It sends an automated email to them. They sign it, and then once it's done, then you see right there on the status bar it'll get updated with a letter P showing the payer. If there wasn't a payer, you're not going to need to worry about saying that P right there. And the dollar sign just lets you know that the client was paying with a credit card and that the credit card's been charged. If they were not paying with a credit card, then you're not going to see the dollar sign because it doesn't apply, and that's it right there. So just want to point out that, just want to kind of reiterate that the admin link, you have two links. Your first one, virtualinsurance.net, is to quote and enroll the client, and your admin link is where you complete the application, collect the signatures, and upload it. Okay, and there is one more login that an agent's going to get. Now, once you've written your first couple pieces of business and they gotten approved, the agent's actually going to get their writing number. That's when it gets generated, and then they go into their My CBL login portal. This is you view this through Dearborn National's website, www.dearbornnational.com. And if you're not sure how to get there, you can always just call us here, 888-455-7462. And what that is, folks, that's just another website where you can keep track of of any pending business that you have. You can check commission reports, and you can also find useful documents like brochures and rate guides or actual paper applications in case you need to print one out for paper app. Okay. And like I said, any questions, just let us know how we can help right here. We can get all those forms out to you just fine here as well. 888-455-7462. So other thing I just want to go over real quick, folks, is the frequently missed questions that we see. We just want you guys to avoid common mistakes, because mistakes are going to lead to pending business, which is going to lead to an amendment, which can mean that your application gets NTO'd. And if something's NTO'd, that means you get a chargeback. We want to avoid this at all costs. We want you guys to write the business and have it processed A to Z as quick as possible, as easy as possible. We just want this to be a real streamlined, seamless, painless process for you guys. Okay? So the things I want to point out is on the quote screen, I want to make sure we pick the right state. The smoker question, like I said, there's a 12-month look back. So if you're also adding a spouse on there, the question applies to the spouse as well. We'll make sure we have a complete address. Verify the Social Security number with the client. A lot of times we're real busy trying to rush through these applications, and we might get butterfingers and might put a typo on the Social Security. That's going to hold up the application. Just same thing with any other bit of information. So just make sure that you take your time and be as accurate as you can be. State and country of birth must be answered. Like I said, if they're born outside of the U.S., let us know which country they were born in, not what continent. And if they were born in the U.S., let us know what state they were born in. Beneficiary, if somebody does not have a beneficiary, then just type in estate, like first and last name, okay? Critical condition family rider, that's on the plan information page. If you quote it as, if you're adding a family to the quote, this must be checked, okay? And that's on that policy info page, like I said. And the medical questions, details is what we need. We need to know who was diagnosed, what condition they were diagnosed with, the date of diagnosis, any medications that they're taking, and the frequency of use, and the doctor's contact information. Be as detailed as you can. That's just going to make it process a lot quicker. That way, if the underwriters need to get any other questions answered too, if you give them the doctor's information, it's going to make it that much easier for them to reach out and get what they need. Okay? Draft date. We can make the draft date up to 30 days out on the bank draft between the 1st and the 28th. Credit cards, when you're putting credit card information, there's a Pay Now button. Make sure that you click that Pay Now button one time and one time only, because it will charge your client's card for each click. A lot of us are used to double-clicking our way through everything on a computer, just the way that Windows has shown us how to do it. So like I said, on this right here, when you're putting the credit card information, click it once and just let it process. It'll take a couple seconds for it to process. Obviously, it's because it's through a secure connection, so it just takes a little bit longer, but really, folks, it should only take a couple of seconds. So just make sure you click it, be patient, let it process, okay? And that's pretty much it right there, guys. You are now ready to enroll clients online. Again, my name is Leo Barrera. I'm here in the National Marketing Department for Colorado Banker Services. If you guys need any assistance or have any questions down the road, you can reach us at 888-455-7462. So like I said, you guys are ready to start helping your clients online with our critical illness plan. Just want to say that we're happy to have you guys on board, and any other questions, let us know how we can help. Good selling out there, guys. Bye-bye.